And welcome everyone to Raichu's Guide to Set Bonuses that aren't directly explained. Kushaladora Flight. So this one does not nullify Kushaladora's tornadoes or any tornadoes. It only nullifies the kickback that you experience from when a monster flaps its wings, or the Lunastra wind explosion when she's ulting. So what this does is it basically has a 70% chance of not expending a sharpness point every time you hit a monster, or a 30% chance of not expending an ammo every time you shoot a gun, or a coating from a bow. Now, I've talked about this before, but attack crits do not work on elemental damage. Things like crit boost, or even crits themselves, don't do anything when you're talking about elemental damage without critical element or true critical element. After about 5 to 7 attacks, the elemental acceleration gives you 60 element for 45 seconds. True element acceleration gives you 150. So for Frostcraft, there is gauges. The longer you leave your weapon sheathed, the more boost you get out of it. These are the values from the boosts, stage 1, 2, and 3. Take a gander. This is critical element, but just with statuses. So stamina cap up increases the stamina cap from 150 to 200, so you can eat at the thing, and then whenever you eat a max potion or drink dash juice or whatever, it can go up to 200. After Iceborne, this changed to double the duration of poison. This one is very good because it lasts for 90 seconds. That's why I'm not a huge fan of the blight resistance jewels, because it's better to just eat a nullberry and then proc this for 90 seconds. Punishing Draw, the amount of stun will differ depending on the weapon. Basically, the only weapon that matters really is the Greatsword, I think, because I don't really see anyone else doing a draw attack build other than a Greatsword. But if you want to put it on your build anyway, take another gander. Shout out to Death Cream and Moon Bunny. All ammunition and arrows have to get to a certain range before they reach maximum damage. This shortens that damage. This lasts for 60 seconds. Some attacks in Monster Hunter World are unblockable. Even with this, like the grab attacks, you can't block those. 64 hit points is the threshold. For Hasten Recovery, under Gigante Secret, and take another gander. And another one. So 3 set gives you 20% affinity and 80 elemental damage. 5 set gives you 40% affinity and 150 elemental damage. These two are broken. Add all of your elemental resistances together, and then 5% of that number is how much you get for the elemental conversion. This is just broken and self-explanatory. So I've made this diagram to explain how to best build for a synergetic damage base. You have your attack skills like your agitator and your crit boost. These are multiplicative, as well as with sharpness. These are all multiplicative. So the more you do on one of these, the more you'll do on all of these. You should always strive to get 100% affinity on your build. That's why agitator's so good. I've said this before in my videos, but don't sacrifice more than you're gaining to get into purple sharpness. But white sharpness should actually be a prerequisite, because at a certain point your weapons just bounce off monsters, and then you have to start running into things like running Mind's Eye and everything. Once you eclipse the maximum amount of elemental damage on your build, you should add attack if you want more damage. Or you can just build however you want to build, honestly. Then you have, of course, your unique builds. Files do not crit, neither do shells from Gunlance. So whenever you're running things like shelling Gunlance, Protective Polish is not a bad idea on the build. I will also note that the buffs, Mega Demon Drug, Demon Powder, Might Pill, Power Charm, and Hunting Horn all stack with each other. So you can eat these 3 items and then it will stack with all of themselves. So with the Dragonproof Mantle, it does increase Dragon element by 20%. So that was Raichu's Guide to Damage and Skills. If you liked it, like it. If you dislike it, tell me what I can do better in the next one, and tell me what you think I missed as far as skills and damage. This isn't really for in-game, because you can just go search an in-game build and build it, but you can't really search mid-game builds. You have to grind for stuff, but if you want the best build that you can make with the stuff you have, this is a really good guide that I've used inside of the builds that I have for synergetic builds. And attack and element work independently of each other.